Hello everyone, and we're here on the PTS for patch 3.2. This video will probably come out as 3.2 comes out, but we're going to take a look at the new gear that has been introduced in 3.2. Now this gear is kind of way better than the 186. The 186 is kind of obsolete. So what you do is you go to Ziost. This is the Ziost orbital station, the GSI orbital station here on Ziost, and on the Republic side you're going to go to this guy right here. I don't know if it'll be the same for the Empire. Maybe there's a dude over there you'll go to or something like that. But on the Republic anyway, we go to this guy, Denth, the Ziost equipment guy. And as you can see, we get 190. Item level 190. I'll scroll down a little bit and we'll find some healer stuff. Force healer, there we are. Still waiting in the group finder queue, waiting for the group finder queue to pop. We need some tanks on the PTS so we can test our new healers out. So respec to DPS, did a bit of Ziost, quite interesting, but sure we'll get to find that out later on. We're getting, it's not bad, the gear is not bad actually. What you do is, as you quest on Ziost, you earn Ziost memory holographs. Note that these are bound to legacy. We are going to be using these to gear our alts now. Not going to be getting basic comms. So they do cost basic comms to buy these things. I guess we could buy them on our main and strip them out. But if your alt, when your alt freshly dinged level 60 alt, this is the place you're going to come to buy gear. So if you've got, you know, a couple of hundred or 1,000, they only cost 80 basic comms per piece. They cost 10 of these Ziost memory holographs, 8.6 for the belt and bracers, should we say? But they are quite, I mean, they're quite nicely itemized actually. If you look at the secondary stats, they have, you know, 118 power in them. They have less alacrity. They have more alacrity than, I mean, the tertiary stat, which is alacrity, and the secondary stat, which is the power. So they have more secondary stat than they do tertiary stats. They have more secondary stat than Masashi Mark 1. Masashi Mark 1 gear, basically. Because if you look at a Masashi, that's not a Masashi Mark 1. That's a Masashi Mark 1 piece. This is a Masashi Mark 1 piece. You can see that we've got 96 crit and 111 accuracy. This was from my Shadow when I transferred it over, so I don't really have a full set of DPS gear on my Sage. I have a full set of healer gear, but again, as you can see, it has 96 crit in it. If we take a look, if it was power, it would have 96 power, but if we take a look at these things, you'll see that they have 108 power, 118 power and 108 accuracy. Now it's going to be interesting when we decide to gear up now, because do we want more of our tertiary stat or do we want more of our secondary stat? You can see there we've got 96 power. That is the yeah, it's got the well, it's got the modern enhancement or 192 and the armoring is 196. So you can see there that again it's an aim item compared to a, you can see there it's got more power but it's got less of this, the tertiary stat. So you got to make that choice between power and surge now. If we're looking at Masashi Mark 1, of course the Masashi Mark 2 and the Resurrected gear is just going to be better across the board for that. But again, it's an interesting choice. There's not a huge difference between 190 and 192. It is going to be, do we need more surge? In the case of the TK Sage, surge is, yeah, we want the surge. Definitely, because bear in mind our turbulence is an automatic critical hit and we can use it every 9 seconds. So we definitely want, you know, surge, because the more surge we have, you know, the more damage that turbulence is going to do. 1% on our surge is 1% extra damage because it's always going to crit, you know, because we're always going to have weakened mind up on that. So it's going to be interesting to see what the best choice is. Do we want the more power? Power will increase our damage across the board, but however it is less of a ratio than surge. And again, things like our belt and bracers now have power in them instead of crit. Now a lot of people wanted power, a lot of people didn't like crit. I think we've got used to things with crit in them. Like I just factored it in as I was gearing my scoundrel. It's not going to affect your mains. This is going to be for alts mostly, so these things are worth collecting. Definitely, if you have a lot of alts, as I do, collect these things. Collect the Ziost memory holographs, and you know, you'll be okay. It's 10 per gear piece, or 6 for the belt and bracers. That's what it is. So again, it's an interesting change to gearing. I mean, we're gonna have, you can see here, this is a resurrected piece. You can see it has 156 power, 111 alacrity. So if we compare that to a 190, that's a 192 resurrected piece. We'll compare it again. Has less power and less alacrity, so it's not going to be better than the set bonus stuff. That would have been ridiculous if people suddenly started abandoning set bonus gear. You can see it's 118 power and 108 alacrity compared to 156 power and 111. Not a huge difference, mind you, not a huge difference in the alacrity. Only 2 of a difference. Not huge though. The power though is huge. The power is really huge. The difference is quite nice. I mean, that is a big difference. It's going to make a difference if all your gear had, say, 156 power in it versus 118 power. Although it's much better than 96. It's going to be... do we even need elite comms anymore? Unless they're going to get buffed. Unless the Masashi Mark 1 vendor starts selling Masashi Mark 2. I'm going to go check that out, actually. I will go back to the fleet and check that out. Right, so we're on the Imperial fleet now, and it is, let's see if we find out, still Mark 1 on the PTS. It's still a PTS that we're on. Still Mark 1, kind of makes it a bit obsolete now, this stuff. Why would you want elite comms? I mean, I know that if you look at Group Finder, we do get ultimates for Dread Fortress and things like that. The op is 8 players, don't like that. I wish it was 16. Just, if you're a DPS, it's bad. You know, if you're a tank, it makes no difference. If you're a healer, yeah, still going to be opportunities for you. But yeah, hard mode Flashpoint classics are going to be 14 basics, and tacticals are going to be 14 elites as well. But elites are kind of pointless right now. You know, I'd rather have basics now because we're getting the 190. Why would we want this 192 stuff? What is the point? I mean, it's like 96 crit. You know, 111 accuracy. We get what, 108. It's not going to make a huge difference. It's like 108 accuracy and 118 power, or 118 crit. It's not really going to make a huge difference, and these things are completely useless now. I think I see a problem already with 3.2's gear, is that we're just going to go to Ziost and just do the Ziost dailies, and the more alts we have, the more of these we can earn. Because they're fairly expensive. I mean, I don't know how many, I haven't finished Yavin, so I don't know how many we can earn, but I assume that there's no limit. If you have, you know, I have, what, 16 level 60s? So, I mean, I've done half the story. I haven't even done the full story, and every time you complete a quest on Ziost, not Zion, you get 190 gear as well, which is quite not the best optimized, to be honest. Well, power surge ain't too bad, really. Crit alacrity, take it or leave it, to be honest. But we get like 4 basics in one of these things. So can you imagine if we do that on all of our alts? And I don't know how long Ziost is actually, but yeah, if we do that and do all the side quests on Ziost, we're gonna be pretty well off for these things for freshly dinged alts. And it's kind of gonna make, you know, elite and basic useless, complete and utterly useless. We want our resurrected gear, but these 2 vendors might as well not be here anymore. We might as well just get rid of the Mark 1 stuff. The Mark 2 stuff that drops in the flashpoints is useful, and the flashpoints in 3.2 are of course going to give us 6 ultimate comms. So, you know, it's still worth queuing for these flashpoints, but getting elite comms, there's nothing to spend them on. Just nothing to spend. There's no point in doing 8-man ops, because 8-man ops only drop elite comms. Why bother? Why bother? I mean, you probably want the offhand, the 192 offhand, because I imagine the armoring or the hilt or the barrel will still be better. Will give you that bit more tech or force power. So maybe that's it, because that's all we want for ultimate comms really, is the offhand. Got the offhand on this character right here. the 198 offhand because it gives us that extra, you know, that extra force power. We get 1395 force power as opposed to the 192, which is 1313 force power. So, you know, especially as a healer, everything, well, even as any sage, everything you do is force power. So, oh god, that's horribly low. Without all our buffs, it's like 1400 and odd on live. Jesus. No wonder I was struggling to kill an elite there. Back there on Ziost, I was struggling to kill an elite there. I was like, why am I struggling to kill an elite? I don't have my 1% accuracy bonus. I don't have my... I'm missing Surge. I'm missing Crit. Jesus, I'm really... I was wondering why I was struggling there. I'm missing all those bonuses, all those legacy bonuses. I did create a legacy and they are all there. I decided to create my legacy on the PTS, but they are all my rep things are there and all my unlocks are there, but you know, all the character reps are still there, but I don't get any of the bonuses for them, which is interesting. So anyway, that is all for this video. So elite comms, useless is the verdict, and it's not even launched yet, so hopefully they do something about that, because what's the point in stacking elite comms? You still get, I guess you're still going to get 2 elite comms. I have been in the queue for over an hour, but I want to test this new healer actually. So anyway, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon, and goodbye.